Okay, hello everyone. So a few Saturdays ago, 7th of December, in my garden, I looked up, and where I looked, I saw this bright flashing light, and so I started recording. So let's rock and roll the video. So here's the camera I'm using. It's a Nikon P1000. It's got a big zoom lens, really good for zooming into these things. Okay, so here we go. You can see the object. I'm going to pause the frame and scale in right there. There he is off in the distance. This is extremely far away. This is in the east. I'm facing east. The sun is behind me in the west. And right about now, you're going to see, so far away in the distance, this donut type object enters the frame. It comes into the frame and he's moving up. Sometimes he shows himself better than other times, you know, almost like he's going visible to invisible. So he's moving up, now he's invisible, and then he's visible again. So this is far off in the distance, extremely far. Okay, so that is actually that's the object I'm really interested in, is this donut thing. So here we go, back to the first object. Now it's making a beeline for coming directly over my house, basically. And I'm just focusing the camera. It's on manual focus. I have to dial it in. Okay, now we're in focus. Okay, let's just assume this is just a golden Simba foil packet cruising in the wind, because that's what it looks like, right? It looks like just a packet cruising around in the wind. This was extremely far up. I can't tell you how extremely, it just looks closer on camera because I was slightly zoomed in there. But now here's the kicker. So the donut object. So I put the camera down on the tripod. I'm trying to find my bearings, and you'll see now. So I'm going to pause the frame, and from the top right hand corner, Mr. Donut comes back. That's in real time. So he enters the frame. He must have covered a massive distance to get there. Okay, now he looks like a silver S or H-shaped Mylar party balloon, right? One of these guys. But now you can see he changes his appearance, and now he looks completely different. So what is going on here? And just before he passes behind the tree, he looks like his donut form again. The tree is out of focus because I'm at a very specific focus. Okay, so now I'm facing northwest. The sun is off to the left of the frame. And I'm trying to find that first object, the packet. I'm kind of zooming in, but I couldn't find it. It seemed to have just disappeared. But here we go. Mr. Donut has appeared in the top left quadrant of the frame, and I'm going to play it back slow motion here. So look at his motion of travel. He goes downwards in an arc like this, and this is in real time. It happens very quick, and look at that extremely weird angle he's moving at. When I adjust the RGB color level curves, it often reveals strange things. Anyway, so I'm still trying to find Mr. Packet, but now this object has entered the frame. And when I adjust the levels, you can see it's a saucer shape with little nodules and what looks like a window, a viewing window or port. Okay, so he cruises up. You can see him cruising up there, frame by frame. Real time, it's just everything happens way too quickly. I have to go frame by frame. And now he's back. So he's just cruised in a completely other direction, and now he's come back into the frame and he's going towards the top left. Do not think this is a bug. This is something strange. And frame by frame, he cruises up. Okay, so this happens very quickly. Mr. Donut is back. He appears for just 2 frames. Well, over 3 frames. This is in real time. So in real time, that's what it looks like. He was cruising from right to left across the frame. And when you adjust the levels, it gives you a better idea of what he looks like. So the donut object is not a lens flare. A lens flare occurs when there's a direct source of light in the frame and you get that orb. This is an example of a lens flare. This is not what's occurring in my video because the sun is out of the frame. The sun is not inside the frame. This is not a lens flare. Just to get that out of the way. Okay, so back to the packet. So we've just seen that first UFO mimic a mylar balloon. So this makes me curious. Let's take a closer look at this thing. Because just because something looks like something, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is what you think it is. So here we have a chunk of coral reef. It looks like just a chunk of coral reef. But upon closer scrutiny, we realize that it is actually an octopus in disguise. So if an octopus can do this, then I can only imagine what an advanced race out there can do. They can probably make themselves and their technology look like whatever the hell they want it to look like. And they can probably mimic things very easily. So this is when the video file was created on my camera's SD card, 7th of December at 2 minutes to 6 o'clock. So what was the wind doing at that time? You would think a packet in the wind would be following the wind direction. So at 6 p.m. it was traveling south-southwest to north-northeast. So let's apply a bit more scrutiny to this so-called packet. Okay, we're in focus. Okay, you can see, you know, extremely luminescent, and it's a heart shape, and below there's a circular opening with what looks like a light, similar to a digital lens, a digital projector lens. Over here again, he looks like some type of a craft. Now this is frame by frame, one after the other. You can see how strange this object looks. When you really take a close look, it doesn't really look like a packet. And over here, he has magically grown a finger appendage. And in the very next frame, that finger appendage has turned into more of a bulb. So, I mean, the light coming off this thing was incredible. But it was extremely, extremely high up. I was really lucky to actually capture it. It was just a tiny, tiny, but extremely bright little speck of light in the sky. Okay, so looking quite strange. Now it looks almost like an arrowhead space shuttle cone type of deal. Looks like some type of a transformer machine. Again, like a machine, some type of machine. The luminescence, again, extremely bright, extremely strange. And these three hotspots coming up, okay, these are really weird. 3 circular noticeable hotspots. It's almost like an ice cream cone shape. Again, we're going to go frame by frame. Looks extremely odd. Look at those little things at the end, those little almost headlight looking things. Very strange anomalies in there. Almost looks like a rudder, some type of a yacht rudder shape. I know shape doesn't necessarily mean anything, but... And now we're back to that. This was a still frame from earlier with the circular light, and now it looks exactly the same. That arrowhead And over here, almost looks like there's cylinder type structure within there. Again, like a transformer machine, very distinct L-shaped something going on there. Again, that L shape and distinct points at the top there, those little appendages. And off he cruises. He was extremely high. He was way higher than what he looks. It's only because I'm slightly zoomed in. Okay, so just in case anyone thinks that I artificially inserted that donut object or any other into the frame artificially. So here's the video file straight from my camera's SD card. I'm going to drag it into Premiere Pro, and I'm just going to show you, just to prove that I haven't artificially inserted anything. So there's our golden object, and I'm going to show you where the donut guy is in a moment. There he is. Okay, so let's scale into the frame. So he's right at the bottom there. You're going to see him now. There he is. So this is the first time he made his appearance. There's the donut, and I'm going to go frame by frame. So there he is right at the bottom here. Now frame by frame, you can see he travels up, up. There he was, extremely visible. Frame by frame, he's going up, he's invisible, can't see him. And there he comes again. And then he goes invisible again. So that's when the donut made his first appearance, way off in the distance in the east. Now let's... And he's actually there again as well. I actually didn't include this part. He's right there. You can see him frame by frame. He's acting intermittent. There he is. Okay, so that's when he was way off in the distance in the start. And then there's the packet type object. And then when I put the frame down, when I put the camera down, sorry, then when he photo bombs from the top right hand corner here where my mouse cursor is, frame by frame, there he comes, and he cruises behind the tree. Let's just play that in real time. There he is, and there he cruises. So no, I have not artificially inserted this donut. I can imagine how people would think that it's very easy to insert something like that artificially. And then the next video file, which is right over here. This is now when my camera is facing northwest. This is when Mr. Donut makes more appearances. So he's first going to appear in the top left of the frame. Just gotta find it. It's very subtle. So he should be here somewhere. there's another object up there. There he is. Okay. So if you look where my mouse cursor is over here, there he is. And he travels downwards in an arc like that. So frame by frame, there he is. Going downwards, there he is. Okay, and then when he makes his final appearance, going from right to left across the frame. There he was. So you can see how quickly this happens. Okay. If you look right there, so let's go frame by frame. There he is. So he's just visible. Very next frame, he's not visible. And the next frame, he's at his most visible. One more frame forward and he's gone. So he must have been traveling from right to left across the frame, from like this, from right to left. He was there. So, okay, look at where my mouse cursor is. So there he is. Next frame, nothing. Very next frame, he's traveled left from my mouse cursor. So there you go. Just to show you that I did not artificially insert these things into the frame. So cool. Okay, so what do I think is going on here? Okay, so the donut object is definitely an anomalous object, definitely a UFO. I didn't even know it was there at any time. Obviously it's... So, okay, so the donut object, definitely a UFO. That other little object that had that saucer shape with the little nodules, I also think that was a UFO. The golden object, the packet, I'm not going to assume, I'm not going to try and convince anyone that it was anything else other than a packet, but there are a few anomalies there. So one, the fact that it was completely defying the wind. So this thing was far off in the eastern sky and it made a beeline straight over my house. And at that exact same time, the wind was traveling from south-southwest to north-northeast, whereas this thing was just on a beeline going east to west, straight into the sunset. And very strange that I couldn't pick it up after it went over the tree, and I repositioned my camera facing northwest west. So very strange that I lost sight of it and couldn't pick it up again. Oftentimes they do just disappear without a trace. You'll see it and then it'll cruise behind a tree and then you don't see it on the other side of the tree. It doesn't emerge from the other side of the tree once it goes behind the tree. So also the fact that there were other UFOs in the vicinity at the time, in the same video frame, is also very strange. This leads me to believe that all of these things were probably UFOs, including the packet, because they often work in groups like that. So if there's one, there's usually more nearby. So And the last point, the last anomaly, yeah, just the fact that I know these things, it sounds far out there, but they definitely can mimic things. We saw the donut object mimic an S-shaped silver party mylar balloon, and I know from the UFO stuff in the UFO research and stuff, they can even imitate human technology. They can imitate aircraft, believe it or not. So I'm not surprised at all that an advanced civilization, I mean, if an octopus can disguise itself as a piece of coral reef, you know, who only knows what an advanced civilization can do, whether it's their technology or whether it's their entities themselves. Absolutely, I don't doubt at all that they can make themselves look like whatever the heck they want. Although when you look closely, when you really put these things under scrutiny, under close scrutiny, you tend to pick up certain anomalies, which we definitely saw with that packet. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. I've also been seeing, a lot, especially at night. My camera's just not good at night, small sensor. But yeah, I see a lot. The vast majority of my sightings are not the ones I manage to catch. The vast majority go that they don't let you film them. You know, so many times I've seen something and I have my camera right there. I turn my camera on, I get my bearings, I look up, and then it's just gone. And this happens a lot. I'll see things in the sky, and as soon as I turn on my camera, they're gone. So anyway, I'll definitely be catching more, I'm sure. And thanks for watching.